Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Ketterman. I'm one of the academic advisors here in the UK College of Nursing. And today, myself and my colleague, Jennifer Calley, are here to talk to you about applying to the Accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing. We're going to give you a quick overview of the program, and then we're going to talk about admission requirements and try and answer all the questions that you might have about applying to our program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Calley, and I am the ABSN track coordinator. I have worked at the University of Kentucky College of Nursing for about 35 years, transferred over into the accelerated track several years ago. And in addition to being the track coordinator, I teach a couple of the blocks in med-surg nursing. And I'm happy to be here with you all today.
And my name is Sean Ketterman. I'm an academic advisor here at the University of Kentucky. I am also the person who works with pre-nursing students who are working on applying to the ABSN. And then next, I would like to introduce Corey Moore, who cannot join us today, but he is our Assistant Dean for Advising, and he also serves as the academic advisor for all students admitted to the ABSN. So if you need to complete some prerequisites before applying to the program, you'll work with me. But once you're admitted to the program, you will then work with Corey Moore.
Okay, Sean, I'll take it from here for a little bit. So this is just a introductory presentation or slide about the Big Blue Nation College of Nursing. We work collaboratively with UK Healthcare across the street, which is in the background of this nurse's presentation right here. We are ranked number 15 as an undergraduate program in the U.S. News Best Colleges among 600 other public universities. Our dean likes to say that puts us in the top 2% of undergraduate programs in the country. So we have, we have a very solid program to provide to you. The program for the accelerated BSN are very nicely tailored for the person who is exceptionally busy with life going on. These are people who often work and or have family and or have other non-traditional life responsibilities that the younger undergraduate traditional track students do not have. We have 3 different opportunities for someone to apply to the ABSN. One is if you have an unencumbered license, LPN license, you are eligible to apply. Number 2 is if you have a second degree, and the degree can be in any field at all. And number 3 is if you are a med vet, which is you served as a medic in the U.S. military. Some students come to us having 2 of these, but minimally you have to have 1 of these as an entry into the application process. So regardless of which option you are falling into, everyone comes together and takes the same curriculum, and we have a 16-month curriculum. It is categorized in blocks rather than semesters. And so there are 8 weeks to a block. And so we have 8 back-to-back blocks that would constitute 4 semesters, 16 months. We go right through the summer term. If you are an LPN, you would earn 54 credits by the end of our program. If you're not an LPN, you would earn 55 credits. Everyone sits for the licensure exam, which is transferable, of course, across the country. Our ABSN track is considered an online track, and what we have to offer is all of our classes, which would be your didactic, which are the things that you would traditionally think of as a class, are either synchronous or asynchronous. And so by synchronous, you probably know this, but I'll define it anyway. Synchronous is when you have an online class, but everybody comes together at a certain time every week online on Zoom, just like this. And there is a synchronous class component to it. The clinical courses are the courses that have synchronous classes, and more times than not, they're on a Thursday afternoon weekly. Then the asynchronous classes are going to be your non-clinical courses, such as research, health promotion, pathophysiology, leadership. And those courses, while they are asynchronous, all of the courses would come together and take exams. More times than not, they are on Monday nights at 6 p.m. So on any given Monday, you may be in the College of Nursing taking an exam, sitting next to a cohort that's either ahead of you or behind you, and they're taking the exam for their respective course. Now, over on the right, you can see we talk about being face-to-face. And of course, in nursing school, you have to have face-to-face situations. We have two situations where a student comes in to the College of Nursing or to the hospital. And one is the lab that we offer. The lab is the first 2 blocks of the semester, and the focus is health assessment and psychomotor skills. So if you are an LPN, for instance, you have the opportunity to opt into our 1 lab per month, and it happens on Sunday afternoons, instead of coming in weekly, which is Monday through Friday opportunity. The labs are 3-hour increments. And if you're not an LPN, you'll come to the college for the first 2 blocks weekly for lab. If you're an LPN, you opt for the Sunday option. You come to the Sunday once a month. And then everyone does clinicals more times than not. They're in the hospital. More times than not, we're at UK Healthcare. And so those are weekly experiences, with the exception of the very last block. We have what we call synthesis, where you will do either 120 or 150 hours on the unit of your choice, working hip to hip with an RN as your preceptor. So this is just a sample study, and this is to say if you are a fall admit, and the next slide shows if you're a spring admit. So the only difference is if you are a fall admit and you follow along here, blocks 1 and 2, I talked a lot about them just now. There's the lab component, there's the clinical component, you take fundamentals and health promotion. And then you take the spring courses, which are, for instance, Med-Surg. I teach Med-Surg. And then you take the summer courses. So you can see that child rearing is the pediatrics, childbearing is the OB. So in the summer, you would take pediatrics, OB, and research. And then you would graduate the following fall. So if you start in the fall, you graduate the end of the following fall. And then for the spring admits on the next slide, you can see if you started in January, your second round, after block 2, you would take that pediatrics, OB, and research with the fall admits. So everybody takes those courses in the summertime. And then you could see where you would take Med-Surg in the fall, and then you would finish up in May. So if you're a spring admit, you finish up the following spring. I think I've already said this. And so as we go on, and if we don't highlight what you want to know, then at the end, Sean is going to provide you our email and contact information. I'll just say now, while I'm thinking about it, I'm delighted to talk to anybody that wants to talk to me about the program as well. And so you can make an appointment with me. This is just a typical week. And this is just to point out that, and this is not going to be a surprise to you, the program is very rigorous and it's accelerated. There's a lot to do, and it's easily a 40-hour week. And so what we have here is calculated that if you just came to class and lab and put the time in your clinical that it is 26 to 30 hours a week, and that's without really putting any studying in yet. So that if you do work 40 hours a week, you're looking at 40 hours of work plus about 40 hours of school. So we're talking 80 hours a week. So that's something that we talk to everyone very intentionally about that at the beginning, so that you can make very proactive plans for being organized and getting your matters in order. So for the next 16 months, you can really focus on your school. You can see that we might have an evening exam review that we do Zoom. We do a Zoom lot because it's much easier to do Zoom than to bring people to campus on things like that. You might have a clinical, let's say over at Good Samaritan Hospital from 7 to 3 on Monday, and then you would come to the college that night to take the exam. And then you might have synchronous lecture on Thursday afternoon. And then Friday morning, you might have that lab that I've referred to from 8 to 11. And so that would be something that would happen for the first 2 blocks. So you would be coming in for the 7 to 3 clinical on Monday, plus the 8 to 11 lab on Friday. One thing I haven't said that I will say is if you do need a Saturday clinical, at this time, we always have a Saturday clinical option for those people who work Monday through Friday, who need childcare on that Saturday. And so there's always a Saturday option. We currently do not have Sunday clinical options. And then I think this is probably the last slide that I speak to, or it's close to it. This is our simulation lab. And the reason we highlight it, it is a nationally accredited lab that is fully staffed by faculty who are dedicated and accredited for simulation only. And so it's an opportunity for you to go in with usually 2 or 3 other of your peers, and you're given a patient scenario that you just learned about in class last week, and you're asked to take care of the patients. We have high fidelity patients that talk to you. We have you call the provider. It's a very real life, but very safe environment, and students love simulation lab. Every student goes to simulation at least once per block. And then the last slide that I'm speaking to is the pinning ceremony. The pinning ceremony is a tradition in nursing that has been in place for many, many, many years. And it's really our favorite day of the entire year. It's a very sweet, sentimental day. It's a short, meaningful ceremony. Actually, Sean Ketterman heads this up. And this is a ceremony in addition to going to the commencement at Rupp Arena. It happens in the morning. Students always have their family come in. Someone called me the other day about making plans for 6 months from now because their family's going to fly in for it. And it's a beautiful way to close the whole experience before you all launch your career.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about admission requirements. So everyone needs a cumulative GPA of 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. So that is 2.5 across all undergraduate institutions you may have attended, even counting GPA from things you may have done through dual enrollment. I will say that AP credit does not count towards your GPA requirement. I will also say that graduate level work, anything done above the undergraduate level, does not count towards this 2.5 cumulative GPA either. The science GPA is also required to be a 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. All applicants must have a minimum grade of a C in each of the following classes prior to applying. Now, a C in of itself in all these classes is not good enough because you need a 2.5 science GPA. C's across the board will only get you to a 2, okay? A C is the minimum grade acceptable, but not all your grades can be C's. So the 4 classes that count into your science GPA are human anatomy, human physiology, general biology, and Gen Chem, equivalent to Chem 103 at UK, or a 1-year, 2-semester Gen Chem sequence. You're also required to take general psychology or developmental psychology. Once again, both have having a C in either before applying. And you are required to have completed composition and communication requirements with a minimum of C or higher before applying. However, the psychology and the comp and com classes do not count towards your science GPA. They do count towards your cumulative GPA. In addition, before starting the ABSN, you must complete general microbiology, nutrition, and statistics with a C or better in each. These do not count towards your science GPA, but they do count towards your cumulative GPA. So, I will also note that if you've taken any of these classes multiple times, we will count the best grade. We do not average the grades together. Finally, I will note that international students who will need to attend UK through an F1 or J1 visa are not eligible to apply to the ABSN because it is considered an online program, and US immigration law bars students under F1 or J1 visas from participating in online programs in the United States. All right, so then there's some additional requirements depending on your applicant's background. So LPN to BSN applicants, you have to have completed an LPN from a regionally accredited institution and have a current active license to practice. So any KCTCS LPN certificate counts for this. And you have to complete all UK core requirements before applying. The best way for someone who is a KCTCS student working on an LPN certificate to complete all UK core requirements is to either, while working on your LPN certificate, earn a Associate of Arts, an Associate of Sciences, or have something called General Education Transfer Agreement Certification, full certification. Sometimes that's called GETA. So, an Associate of Applied Sciences does not necessarily count. So, to reiterate, you want to have either an Associate of Arts, an Associate of Sciences, or full GETA certification before applying to the program to make sure all general education requirements are met. It might be a good idea to talk to your KCTCS advisor about accomplishing that while working on your LPN certificate. I will say that the LPN programs from KCTCS will provide you with adequate anatomy, physiology, and microbiology credit, usually also psychology. I rarely see them taking general biology or chemistry for health professionals. So if you want to take those two classes while you're at a KCTCS school, we recommend that. I believe the correct courses to take, Bio 112 at KCTCS will equate to Bio 103 at UK, and Chemistry 130 at KCTCS will equate to Chem 103 at UK. Also, you might take Statistics 210 at KCTCS if you have not already taken that as a part of your LPN certificate. So that would be my advice to any KCTCS student doing the LPN to BSN program. Next are MedVets. So if you are a Army Medical Specialist, they call that 68W, 68 Whiskey, or a Navy Corpsman or Air Force Medical Specialist, you are eligible for the MedVet program. You do need to complete all UK core requirements before applying. So once again, if you do not have a bachelor's degree, an Associate of Arts, an Associate of Sciences, or full GETA transfer agreement certification, would complete all those requirements by default. Otherwise, it's kind of looking course by course to decide, what you've got credit for. Finally, second degree applicants completing a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts, that automatically completes all general education requirements. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is a couple slides back, we mentioned the composition and communication requirement. That will be met if you have an Associate of Arts, an Associate of Sciences, a bachelor's degree of any sort, or full GETA certification. Any of those 4 credentials will complete the composition and communication requirement for our track. As far as transcript review and admission questions, We have got a website at uky.edu/nursing, or it can also be nursing.uky.edu. Either one will get you there. If you look at our undergraduate programs and look at the ABSN track, there is a full list of all admission requirements under how to apply. That lists everything you need to do. Additionally, there is a link to our transfer equivalency system. It's called TESS, and you can look up transfer equivalencies about any school that you may have taken these classes at, and there's a good chance that the equivalencies will be there. If you have any specific questions about whether or not you qualify for the program, you can email me at the email address listed here. I will ask that if you want me to look at any transcripts, that you include PDFs of unofficial transcripts from the university, and I need them from all undergraduate schools you've attended, okay? Please do not send screenshots of degree audits. Please do not send photographs of pieces of paper. We do need to have the complete picture to give you a good, response, essentially, and an accurate response. Let's see here. As far as important dates, to begin the program in fall of 2024, the application opens October 15 and goes until March 1. And to begin the program in spring of 25, the application opens June 1st and goes to August 15. So those are the windows, and those windows are made clear on our admission website, and they're the same every year. If you are currently enrolled at UK, you can complete an application on our website. If you are currently not enrolled at UK, you want to contact UK Admissions and apply as either a transfer or a readmit student. You want to transfer if you've never attended UK before. You want readmit if you have attended UK in the past under any circumstances. You apply to the ABSN track as your first choice major. And do keep in mind, you can only apply during those windows I previously mentioned. So once again, to apply in the fall, it is October 15 to March 1. And to apply in the spring, it is June 1 to August 15. Outside of those two windows, the application for the ABSN is not available through UK Admissions. So after you apply, you will receive an email invitation to complete an interview after your initial screening for course and GPA requirements. So the first thing we do is we look to make sure you have all the classes done and that your GPA is high enough. And assuming those two things are true, you will then be invited to interview. The interview is conducted via an online platform. And if you are not selected for an interview, you will be notified that you will not be considered further via email. And finally, final decisions will be sent via email. So the cost of attendance for this program is about $611 per credit hour. There is a $614 nursing fee per semester. And SurePath, which covers all your books and material for the program, is $875 per semester. I will say that this tuition for this program is billed through online tuition rate, meaning whether or not you're an in-state or out-of-state student, this tuition is the same for you. We have several scholarship opportunities. So UK and the College of Nursing offer scholarships, and there are external scholarships as well. If you have any questions, we welcome your emails to Professor Jennifer Callie, and she will help mainly with questions about the program itself, what's it like to be an ABSN student, considerations that you may take into account before deciding to apply to be an ABSN student, and I can field any questions about admission requirements and more of the technical aspects thereof. So we appreciate your time today, and we hope that this was informative to you, and we look forward to seeing your applications in the future.